Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Quinn Friang, and the title of my poster is Enhancing the Achievement of Restoration Projects, Significance of Restoration Techniques and Monitoring. I completed my capstone in partnership with City of Sammamish Parks, Recreation, and Facilities Department, who is dedicated to providing safe places to play, gather, and learn in the city's natural areas. The main things that my capstone was focusing on were restoration projects and how climate and monitoring can help to shape the success of that project. The purpose of the study was to determine the best restoration techniques for different parts of Washington state and to stress the importance of monitoring restoration sites. The main research questions I was looking at was how does climate help to determine the best restoration techniques to use, and why is monitoring a restoration site important? As I stated earlier, I interned with the City of Sammamish Parks and Recreation over my winter quarter. The goal of my internship was to help survey an area of land that had already been determined overtaken by invasive blackberry bushes. If you look over at Figure 1, it shows a map of the area that myself and the other interns slash fellow capstone classmates surveyed. During my internship, we divided the area of land into 8 plots that you can see on the map. The methods I used included surveying over 50 trees and bushes, which you can see a picture of in Figure 2, and researching restoration techniques that would best suit certain climates. Going over to my results section, I first talked about the results that we got from our tree and bush surveying. After compiling all of the data between myself and the other intern, we determined that plot 4 was struggling the most to establish native species. You can see this in table 1 in the percentage of tree survivals in the far right column. If you go to that plot 4 and over to the right column, you will notice that it only has a 0.19% of tree survival against the invasive blackberry bushes. After conducting research, myself and the other intern determined some of the best restoration techniques to use, besides the obvious removal of the invasive blackberry bushes, was live staking and erosion control. Part of my research was understanding how climate can affect the best restoration techniques to use. I did this by looking into both Eastern and Western Washington to see if the climate in the areas makes a difference on what the best restoration techniques are. I found that Eastern Washington climate includes extreme temperatures in both the summer and winter. Because of this, livestock grazing and prescribed burning are suggested restoration techniques since the soil is a lot drier than it is in Western Washington. In difference to that, in Western Washington, as we all know, we experience cooler summers, at least we used to, and wetter winters. Because of this, live staking is a popular restoration technique used in Western Washington. If you look over at Figure 3, you will see a detailed diagram of what live staking is, which is basically removing a branch from a dormant plant and then planting it back into the ground to then sprout a new plant. And as I stated earlier, this was a technique that we suggested for our restoration plan for my internship. Lastly, for my results, I wanted to look into the importance of monitoring because I had experienced firsthand at my internship what non-consistent monitoring can do. Before I surveyed the area of land in Sammamish, another group had been hired to restore this area of land multiple years before. I believe it ended in about 2015. However, because continuous monitoring had not been happening after the restoration was complete, the area was completely overtaken by invasive blackberry bushes, which is why we were asked to come in and help remove some of those and survey and determine what we thought was the best restoration course of action. Learning about this made me want to look into the importance of monitoring even more. The summary of my findings and my research determined that active monitoring for a restoration site is crucial to the overall success of that project. Some important takeaways from my capstone is that restoration projects that don't do continuous monitoring have had to start from scratch. Also, knowing the climate in an area is crucial to the decision-making process of restoration projects. So these results are important because it shows how necessary it is for those constructing restoration projects to keep their area's climate in mind. It is also important for future changes in temperature and climate due to climate change. As shown in Figure 4 below, we are going to be experiencing extreme changes in temperature, which will affect most areas' overall climate. We've already been experiencing hotter summers here in Western Washington, and those temperatures last year at least ended up going all the way until October. These changes in temperature could affect what the best restoration techniques we end up using. In addition to this, creating a detailed monitoring plan will help to prevent a reversal of any progress made during a restoration project. Thank you so much for joining me today. I would like to thank my site supervisor, Sebastian Rotalco, my faculty advisor, Tim Billow, my fellow class Capstone peers, my roommates, and my amazing family for supporting me throughout this entire year. Thank you.